Ottawa, you made it through day one very well. A citywide transit strike paired with a major snowstorm caused near chaos on our roads today. You, however, proved very resourceful. CTV's Natalie Piracera now on how we coped.
It's gridlock for many commuters trying to get home after a long day. All that snow is bad enough. Take away public transit and you've got a real mess. Patsy Niles is desperate for a ride. Her husband is being treated for an incurable cancer, and she relies on public transit to visit him daily.
Because if something happens and I'm not there, I don't know how I'll live with myself. It's too hard.
Many people were up before dawn, drawing up a plan of attack to make it through the day. Arwen Vesley of Orleans had to get her 13-year-old son to school and her 3-year-old to daycare, and then start her workday.
We have to be going in, leaving here at 5 or 6 in the morning to get ahead of the traffic and coming home after lunch. And we'll just have to take turns to make sure that these two are covered off in the morning.
The morning commute was challenging and slow. Some people had to get creative.
Hopefully I will get off campus before it gets dark and start walking home, I guess.
Carleton student Justine Robertson and some friends spent the night at the university library. It's open 24 hours a day during exams.
It seemed like the only viable alternative to make sure I was on campus this morning.
We offered Patsy Niles a ride. She was able to spend the afternoon with her husband Peter at the cancer center.
I can't imagine a situation where a patient or patients would be that alone going through this process. Cancer is it's a very lonely disease.
They need to get back on the road, OC Transpo, and the city needs to divvy up and get something done.
Like many stranded transit users, Patsy is now wondering what she'll do tomorrow. Natalie Piracera, CTV News.
A strike and a storm. Obviously, emotions ran high today. Drivers were angry, students were stressed, and picketers felt betrayed. CTV's Joanne Schnee reports how what the day felt like for many of us.
The look of exasperation on this woman's face summed up how a lot of people were feeling today.
I'm obviously late for work. I've been in the car since 7 o'clock this morning from Barhaven, and you've got greedy people who turn down 7%. In this economy, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Ridiculous is how this guy probably felt, waiting at a bus stop for a bus that would never come. Francois Pilote had a friend pick him up here, a carpooling system many are relying on.
I couldn't work at home, so I had to decide if I want to be paid or not.
Anne Zaborski had no choice but to work from home, one of thousands who exercised that option. Her daughter was writing a physics final and Mom had to get her there.
My daughter was half an hour late for her exam. Look at the people you're hurting here. Did my daughter deserve that?
At this grocery store downtown, 14 employees failed to show for work. Those who made it didn't have much to do. Many shoppers simply couldn't come.
The economy is already bad. We certainly don't need this. The city doesn't need this, and the people of the city don't need it.
Judy Long echoes that thought. She relies on the bus to take her everywhere, including her twice-weekly visits to her disabled son.
Our visits are very important. He's blind and partially paralyzed, and you can't get to see him. I can't get to see him.
We apologize for not being there, but we don't have a choice.
On the picket line, apologies to the public, but no plans to go back to work unless the issue of block booking is off the table.
If it was about money, we wouldn't be here, because they're offering us $2,000 to sign this contract.
No block booking!
Striking bus drivers say they understand the public's anger, but they're angry too and ready to ride out the storm in order to get what they want. Joanne Schnee, CTV News.
So why would 2,100 drivers, mechanics, and dispatchers go on strike just before Christmas? And why is it important to you, the taxpayer, that city negotiators dig in? CTV's Norman Federley explains what it's all about.
Rideau Street, just piles of snow, no long lines of buses. A strike largely triggered by the city's demand that OC Transpo management take over scheduling of bus drivers from the union. a move the City of Ottawa says could save taxpayers millions in costs.
It's worth $8 million in equipment that we don't need to buy, and it's $3.5 million in annual savings. So this is significant when you're looking at cutting routes. If you can save money somewhere that saves those routes, I think that's very important.
But the bus union has said the scheduling issue is vital to its members, a matter of dignity and respect, and helps explain why they chose to strike now.
It's about walking the picket line, stopping people from coming in like they would on a normal day, inconveniencing people. What's wrong with that?
Ottawa Councillor Rainer Blois tried to get OC Transpo declared an essential service, with binding arbitration the ultimate solution. The motion died after it was questioned by city legal staff, but it's very much alive with the public.
Give them a fair raise, fair wage, but make it essential.
Because too many people get affected, single parents, and it's really disruptive for people who have to take their children out of school.
Because it's not fair for all the university college students who are potentially missing exams this week because of the transit strike and can't afford the taxi fare.
Any essential service designation would have to come from the federal government, because OC Transpo crosses provincial boundaries going into Gatineau. But Ontario Premier Dalton McGuinty is interested in the issue.
I'm not aware of the positions on both sides, so I'm not sure how far they are apart. So I just can't weigh in on that with that kind of a, advice to the feds on this, except they better take a very, very close look at this. And
that's not to say that making OC Transpo an essential operation won't come up in the future. It's just that it won't have any effect on this strike. Norman Chatterley, CTV News.
It has been 7 hours since the snowstorm cleared out. It's